So, hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us to invest in yourself. My name is Catalina Flore, and I'm your host today. I am based in south of Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and I'm a fellow coach and executive coach and leadership development and integrative health coach as well. So thank you for sharing in the chat from where you are, and thank you for those that turn on your camera. It's nice. This is our way to have a eye-to-eye conversation, and it's very nice also for our guest today to see the participants. We are sharing this live on several platforms. So, and we are already today on the masterclass number 3. So it's a very productive way for us. And I will start to introduce our guest today. And today's our speaker is not only a pioneer, if you like, in women's health education, but she's a passionate advocate for purpose-driven entrepreneurs and transforming expertise into real-world impact. And Liadh Fitzgerald is the founder and the CEO of the globally recognized Women's Health Network. She's an award-nominated online platform. It is an online platform, award-nominated, dedicated to the education, mentorship, and empowerment of therapists and coaches, consultants in therapy, in fertility, in PCOS, endometriosis, menopause, and much more. And Liadh has been shortlisted as one of the Europe's top fertility coaches. And now she also serves as a judge for the European Fertility Society 2025 awards. And she's deeply involved with prestigious organizations like the Institute for Functional Medicine, the International Authority for Professional Coaches and Mentors. And she has lots of accolades, of course. And there's a twist here. She didn't set out to be in healthcare or coaching. Sounds familiar, you know, the road in life is not always a straight line. Her original destiny was romance writing. And honestly, she's still in the business of creating happy endings. So just for your business and not for your bookshelves necessarily, or maybe yeses as well. Today, she brings her brilliance to help you build your signature program, a one that reflects your mind, your heart. It anchors your brand and finally turns all your ideas into something purposeful, something that is profitable and ready to scale. And please welcome the visionary behind the Signature Program Lab, Liadh. And she will start telling you also what are the top outcomes for today and how you will be richer and more abundant after this session together. Liadh, it's an honor to meet you and to have you with us.
Oh my goodness, what a gorgeous, gorgeous introduction. Thank you so much. And I love the bit about the romance writing and still bringing happy endings to the story. So thank you very much. We might get a romance book out yet. We're still trying, but anyway. So thank you so much, everybody. And I'm really delighted to be here. I love any time I can work with the IAPC&M. They have been my guide as I have brought my academy to life. And every time I'm invited to have a talk with the IAPC&M and their community and their audience, I'm absolutely thrilled. So it's an honor to be here today. So thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen because I want us to literally hit the ground running today. And there's a lot that I want to teach you. We have about 45 minutes of chatting and I want to show you stuff. I want to show you in behind the scenes of an existing signature program. And I want to show you how easy it is to build your own. I'm going to explain what a signature program is, of course, because often, I mean, when I start talking about things like this, I forget sometimes that, you know, we don't always talk in the same language. So I'm going to talk you through what a signature program is so that we can all understand what it is, and then we can start creating our own as we're going forward today.
That
There's
is
just, yeah, brilliant. So,
perfect, Leah. Before you start, just to
yeah,
share that your teaching will be about 45 minutes. We still have time for Q&As, but of course, if there are questions on the way, please feel free to raise your hand or to put them in the chat, and we will integrate them in your teachings. Yeah, is that
absolutely.
okay? Okay.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And if myself and Catalina were talking earlier that if we find that we're a little bit cut for time, I might just ask for a couple of questions to be maybe held till the end, but hopefully we won't. So please come forward
Yes.
with all the questions, because I love answering questions. So,
Yes.
so what we're going to look at today, we're going to look at what exactly a signature program is and how to shape your own. I would absolutely love if you left here today with the skeleton of creating a signature program, and you will know by the end of today how important it is. It may not have been something you've thought of before. Maybe you already are working with a signature program, but you just want to hone a little bit tighter focus on it. By the end of today, you should all have a really good roadmap or a really good plan in place to begin your signature programs. So as Catalina, I don't even need to introduce myself anymore, so I'm not going to. My name is Liadh Fitzgerald. You can hear from my accent, I'm Irish. I'm down in Cork, down the very end of Ireland, and I'm the CEO and founder of Women's Health Network. If you're interested, go and have a look. I'm on a mission to create women's health advisors and coaches in every community, because us women, we need support, and it's not always available to us. But I'm not going to say anything else about myself. Sometimes, just a quick disclaimer, sometimes when I'm chatting and giving samples and examples about things, I might give a scenario that might include maybe some medical information, and just take it as face value that it's not. When I talk about anything to do with, a medical intervention, I'm not giving anybody instructions on how to support themselves for the scenario I'm talking about. So please just use it as a sample example. I would invite everyone to have a pen and paper. I often stop and I hear myself saying something that I think has value, and I'm like, I'm not going to remember what that was. So I often call things writer downers. And there are times I know throughout this talk that I say, okay, this coming up now, this is a writer downer, which means this is a key part that I want you to try and remember. A writer downer is if you don't remember anything else from this talk, try and remember the writer downers, because they're important for you. And my mission is to support you to build something into your business that will help generate, funds that will help your business continue forward, or your business to start, because maybe some of you are just starting. So we're going to talk today about what it means to build a signature program, what it is, how we design it, and how we can then start talking about it. Because I want you to have something. I always talk in class to my students about our shop. Okay, this is my shop. My shop is here on Zoom, and in behind me that's where I keep my products. Okay, these are my shelves, and we need to stack our shelves. Okay, because for a business to run really, really well, and for a business to be in part automated with really good systems in place, we need a good stock on our shelves. Okay, and a signature program is the anchor to any business, and it's the first thing, or one of the first things, you should have stocked on your shelves. You can have as many as you need. I would say most businesses should have a minimum of one. 3 is a nice number, and they're changeable. I'm literally in the process of changing one of my approaches to my clinical work. I'm in the middle of changing that into a signature program. It's really easy, and I can now go with that signature program anywhere. But I'm going to talk to you about what it is. So what is a signature program? So really what it is, it's a rinse and repeat core to your business. It's a program that sits inside your business that's built around a specific transformation that you want your clients to achieve. And I'm going to show you some samples, okay? It's a core part of your business that is something that can be actioned for the client in steps. We often talk about the transformation. We want our client to go through a transformation. They come into us as coaches that we want to bring them all the way through, down to the end, all the way to Z, in a much faster and easier way, rather than if they were doing it by themselves. Okay, we want to bring them from A to B much quicker, much easier. Okay, But in order to get anywhere, there are always steps that have to be put in place. Okay. And a signature program is an offering that you can deliver to your clients, that your clients can purchase from you, that has specific steps built within it that will bring me from here all the way over to here. Okay. So that's what you need to know about a signature program. It's a core part of your business. It's also very, very easy to sell for a couple of reasons. When you have it down, as they'd say, it's really, really easy to explain. I can explain any of my signature programs at the drop of a hat. We often say, what's your elevator pitch? You know, if you were stuck in the lift with somebody really that you wanted to understand what your business was, and you had 60 seconds before you got to the top of the building, what's your pitch? You need to be able to patter off the top of your tongue what it is that you offer. Okay. And the more clarity you have around your offer and its structure, the easier it is to pitch it, the easier it is to talk about it. And when you can talk about something fluently, it is much easier to sell. Okay. But I suppose one of the key parts of a signature program is that it's a specific product that you rinse and repeat, that you never, I suppose we spend a lot of time, I suppose, you know, as coaches and maybe practitioners and businesswomen and men, we spend a lot of time often getting distracted. We often have so much that we need to do. We often have to maybe write something for one client and it's very different for the other, and we're all over the place. We don't know whether we're coming or going, or we're exhausted. A signature program structures your business, and it gets rid of all of that external noise, as I like to call it. So that's what it is, and we're going to dive into it. So there are some writer downers coming up. So I'd say if you do have your pen and paper, definitely grab it. So conceptually, some of you are probably thinking, yeah, this actually makes sense. But we need to figure out, okay, so but how do we put this together? Because it's one thing for something to make sense, but how do we start building it? The first thing we need to do is we need to really, and I want you to write down what yours is as we're going, because I want, as I say, for you to be able to build something today. I want you to say, what is your unique core transformation? What is it that you're promising your client? Okay. So for example, I work in women's health. A lot of the times women come into me and their hormone health is all over the place. I might work as a practitioner to support it, or I might work as a coach in order to help them build structure around their lives to buffer the times when they know they're going to be hormonally a little bit uncertain. Okay. So my transformation is getting them clarity around their hormone health. But I want you to think just for a moment and write it down. What is your core transformation? Okay. And when you know what you want you want your client to have at the end of it, you then need to build steps up to that transformation. It's a little bit like reverse engineering. What do I want them to get at the end of it? And now let me look back. What should that journey up to this end point look like? What steps need to be put in place in order to get to that end transformation point? So what's your core transformation? Okay. What are the steps that need to be put in place to get there? And how can I speak about it fluently and eloquently? Okay. And once we have all of those steps in place, we become a lot more confident with our ability to talk about this program and to then launch it, or, you know, invite and attract people into it. So I'm going to give you some things. Instead of stumbling through conversations trying to describe what you do, so you could say to me, what do you do, Liadh? And I'd say, well, I help women who are, you know, who are, you know, worried about their hormones. That doesn't really tell me much. But if I said I help women move from constant fatigue and emotional chaos to feeling energized and balanced in 12 weeks through my signature life balance reset program, now I have a much better idea of what it is that the person is trying to sell me. Okay. Or I have a nice strong structure that I can talk from. Okay. Or I might say something like, I guide people through a clear 3-phase process to transform their relationship with food and achieve sustainable weight loss without strict diets. So maybe my transformational signature program is a 3-step process that supports women trying to lose weight. Okay. Or men, or anybody trying to lose weight. It's clear, Okay, it's simple and it's powerful. Okay, and I'm not flailing around and looking like and sounding like the amateur. I very much, because I know this strong program I have, which we haven't reached yet. So we're just building, we're layering our kind of our conception of what the signature program is. We'll get into that very, very shortly. But it's something that allows me very eloquently talk about my message and talk about what I have to offer. And I can leave behind the distraction of always trying to describe and explain. And sometimes coaching, I think, can be a little bit tricky. People often say to me, well, what do you do when you're a coach? And, to explain it really simply so that people go, oh, now I get it. Now I understand. And what do you offer? Well, this is what I offer. I think I need that. Or I know somebody down the road who actually needs that. So we do need, where do I want to get them to? How can I get them there? And how can I talk about it? And that is, now we're starting to put some bones together on a signature program. Okay. And we want it to be simple. We want it to sound simple, but we also want it to sound really, really engaging. Okay. So what about if we don't have one? Now, we're all coaches. I'm presuming we're all coaches. Maybe some of us are therapists as well. And, we're often incredibly skilled. We're generally really, really passionate about our offers. We're really, really passionate about our modalities. I know I'm so passionate about coaching. I think everybody needs a coach. We're probably all coming from the same place. Okay. We're very committed to supporting our clients to get, to change whatever's not working for them, to support them to get to where it is that they want to be. But we're often, really exhausted, often scattered, maybe frustrated. And if we're scattered and if we don't, as in if our business is scattered and if we don't know what we're offering, then our income is going to reflect it. Okay. So if we don't have a core anchor within our business, we're really compromising our ability to, I suppose, ensure that our business can fund itself. And if a business can't fund itself, then the business can go down the pan. And if the business goes down the pan, all those wonderful people who actually need our supports are not going to be able to access them. So the problem as well without a signature program is that we're always customizing, always. That used to kill me years and years ago when I first set up in practice, and it was more around health kind of physiology that I used to be giving out information. And I was always, having to write client programs. This now was 20 years ago, having to write client programs and trying to catch up with myself always until I discovered a much better way to do it, that I create this one program that I can launch from there. Okay. I create this one program that I can make bespoke to a certain degree, but I will never rinse and repeat the core of it because that consumes energy. It drains my time. And when we are building businesses, we need to be front and center of it. No matter how big or small our businesses are, you are the CEO. You are the person you might be the CEO, the bottle washer and the tea maker, but you are the CEO, and the CEO is the person who generates ideas to drive audiences to your business. Now, we cannot do that if we're stuck behind our computer, constantly having to try and figure out the next session or what should I offer this client. If we have a core offer, if we have an anchor within our business, then we are not going to be draining that time and energy because we're confident that I can take on 10 new people this week, no problem, because I'm not going to be sitting for 10 extra hours trying to figure out what I'll do with them because I have this anchor within my business. Disconnected service syndrome is what I call it, that we don't quite know what our service is. We're passionate, we're highly skilled, or maybe we're just after training and we are chomping at the bit that we want to get out and we want to help, but we're disconnected from what our services are. We're disconnected from what we can offer because we don't have that strong anchor. We often say, what you hold on to in the wind, you hold on to something strong and solid and you will be okay. This is the strong and solid thing that I want you to build into your business. And we're going to get there. I'm going to show you one. I'm going to teach you the phases. There are different pillars to building the program. This is all built into this chat. So it truly is. And I just want to show you something here because I need you to keep this in mind as we go forward to build yours. Okay. So it really is the difference between saying to somebody, I'm a health and lifestyle coach who helps business women feel better. Now, if I was feeling awful and if someone said to me, I'm a health and lifestyle coach and I help business women feel better, I wouldn't particularly maybe know what that means, feel better about themselves, about their business. Whereas if somebody said to me, I help clients move from relentless fatigue and business disconnect to feeling energized with clarity through a guided step-by-step program that we tailor to their business and lifestyle. Can you see how different that is? One is very vague, the other is magnetic. Now, what you probably see is that I have different colored writing here. You're probably saying, Leah, why do you need that? And I want to show you how easy it is to tell a story in one sentence that will give your client or anybody who's kind of maybe edging around the corners of looking at what you have to offer, it gives them total clarity on what it is you do. So number one in red, I help clients. Okay, so I know who you help. For myself in my clinic, I help women. Okay, so I know there are some men on here. If they came across my website, they would see straight away, this isn't for me. Okay, so they would know. Somebody else might say, I help men. So I would come on to theirs and I would say, okay, this isn't for me. So at the very first few words, I'm saying who I help. So I know now that if you're coming closer to my offer, you're clear on who I help and you're still here, which means you're probably someone who I can support. Okay. The next ones are in blue. So I help clients, I know who I help, move from. So this is my first introduction to that transformation. Okay. I help them move from somewhere, from this starting block where they're stuck. In this example, it's from relentless fatigue and business disconnect. Now, I've only gotten a few words in, and I already know that this person helps people move somewhere, and those people are relentlessly exhausted and they're disconnected from their businesses. If that's me, I will keep reading. If it's not me, I'll go somewhere else. But that's great because I'm not going to be wasting your time by sending emails questioning whether or not your business is a good fit for my needs. Okay. So I help clients move from a specific place to. So that's me explaining where I'm going to bring them to. Okay. I help clients move from here to ... In this instance, I help them move from relentless fatigue and business disconnect to feeling energized with clarity. Great, because I am exhausted. I do want to feel energized. I'm so disconnected, but this program is going to move me into clarity. Okay, let me read on and see what else they're going to tell me. To a guided step-by-step program. Okay, so now I know that I won't be going alone because this is going to be guided and there are steps within this program. This seems solid. This person knows what they're doing. Please give me the steps out of fatigue. I need them. I can't figure it out myself. You're telling me you have it. That we tailor, may or may not for some of us. Okay, that's great. I know that there's something that, you know, is more pressing in my life, going to tailor to that, to their business and lifestyle. So now, if I was to say to someone, I'm a health and lifestyle coach who helps business women feel better, versus I help clients move from relentless fatigue and business disconnect to feeling energized with clarity through a guided step-by-step program that we tailor to their business and lifestyle, I know exactly who I'm going to. This is called a program promise. So this is what my signature program is going to promise this individual. I promise you, as my client, I'm going to move you from this awful fatigue and business disconnect all the way over to the other side of the dial where you're going to feel energized and with clarity. Now, and I'm going to do it through a really guided step-by-step program. Now, I have built a program that is designed maybe week by week to bring somebody up the ladder from exhaustion to not exhausted. I have utilized wonderful coaching skills, mindfulness skills, maybe whatever it is. I have them built into this fabulous anchor program in my business. And this is the promise of it, so that my client knows exactly what they're going to get when they see this promise. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself some questions. So these again are the writer downers for you. So for your own business, I don't know what any of you do. I should have asked you to pop it into chat. So that I actually very quickly pop into chat just a word. If it was me, I'd be putting in health business. That's it. So just one word, so I can, if when I'm giving examples, it'll be much better for me to be able to, I suppose, okay, here a lot of my coaching secretary, sorry for making promises. Maybe okay. It's a different, it's called a business problem or a program promise, but I'm never promising somebody ever. And I would be the same. I'm never guaranteeing or promising, because I work in the field of fertility. Crikey, you couldn't guarantee anything. So In business, it's very different. So this is a business promise, but I'm never using the word promise outside of myself. Okay, so Muslim women become more spiritual. So spiritual connection, wisdom in all areas of life. I love it, ladies. Business world is called value proposition is another one. Yeah, mental wellness, excellent. So value proposition or business promise, either Lucia, you can bounce between the two. Okay, perfect. So I have a bit of an idea. So I want you to, what is the big result you help clients achieve? Okay, what is the one thing you want? So Lorraine here, stop smoking and health. So you want to achieve smoking cessation. Okay, brilliant. Why does this matter to them? Okay, so we'll take the Muslim women connecting spiritually. Why does it matter to them? You know, what happens when they're not spiritually connected? And if you get them to be spiritually connected, what problem does that solve? Okay, we'll take the smoker as well, the two that caught my eye. And why does it matter to them that they want to give up smoking? Because of course, longevity, health. What problem does it solve? Maybe it solves a lot of worry. So maybe your business, promise or your program promise could be that you get to the end of the program and you're able to dampen down some of that worry related to smoking, whatever it is. Once you know what you want your clients to achieve, why it matters, what type of problems it might solve, and this is you brainstorming with yourself, maybe brainstorming with others, you should then see that as the beating heart of your signature program. This is the key. These are the key elements that need to be built into the program. The transformation, what matters to them, what do they want to achieve. This is the end goal, okay? And when we see that end goal and we know where they're starting from, we then design the steps to get them there, okay? And we design it in such a way that we package it as a signature program. So why does this matter to them? This is really critical. I do want you to dig deeper, okay? I want you to dig deeper in your own time about why is it so important for these clients, to have this transformation? Why is it so important for them to engage in a program like this? Because this will also inform the way you talk, okay, the way you send out your message. So what will achieving the result allow them to do? How will it change their day-to-day life? What will it feel like to finally have this solved? Again, this is all part of your exploration. And again, I would always, anytime I'm building something, I will always ask an audience. I would have a trusted audience of a lot of students. When I'm changing something, even in my own clinic, I put in front of them, what would you think as consumers, or as women who need this? And always try and get feedback. So it's very important to push some market research together, because there might be something, maybe the smoking one, there might be something key that when we're so close to designing products and programs, we do miss details. There's no denying it. So there might be something key that's missed. So I would say put it out to an audience of people who you trust, who will give you feedback. And dig into these questions. What will it get them at the end? What's missing? What's really, really good in here? What have people experienced before that have helped them get to this transition, through this transition? So for example, if you help women regulate their hormones, it's not just about hormone levels on a chart. It's about waking up with energy, being present with their family, feeling like themselves again. And this is the eventual outcome that they want, okay? Or they might want to feel less unwell. They might want to feel they can go to work and that they can function at work, or they can function within their everyday activities. So if that's what they need at the end, I need to know why it matters. And it matters because I can't function. I can't get involved in this. There's always a negative. So I need to build into my program a process to push that away, a process that the big reason why it matters is always addressed within my program. Okay.
And this is how you go deeper. What I like, you go deeper into the thinking and reflection, because in your case, maybe those women some of them have good test results on their paper, but they feel crap. So you go deeper. Absolutely. And you discuss actually the benefits of this. So it's really a lot of reflection.
And it's amazing that you said that, because I'm just creating, I mentioned at the beginning, a brand new signature program, and it is completely focused on my results say this and I feel desperate.
Now, here you go.
There you go. And the signature program that I'm building is bringing them from understanding those tests all the way through, and we build in, of course, physiology into it, but it'll be all the way through to regulating hormonal function, so they do start to feel better. Even if our general tests look great, you need different tests. That's just you need functional tests to see what's going on with your hormones. So that's a signature program in itself, but it's from my results are saying this, but I feel like that there's a massive disconnect. So my program will sit between the two and join them. And that's what a signature program does, is it solves a problem for somebody, and it solves a problem within our businesses. So I just want you to remember this. I help clients move from to a certain place through a certain product so that they can come out the other end with a transformation. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind, that this is where everything stems from. Okay, I want to support someone go from here to there. And I'm going to do it by these steps, and I'm going to formulate everything, and I'm going to formalize these steps, and I'm going to put my own, I'm going to be stamped all over my program, because what I think needs to go in will go in as well. And that's signature to you, that's bespoke to you. So it's a bespoke to you program that brings your clients on a journey, and you plug it into your business. And so here are the pillars of a signature program. Okay, we're bang on time. We're half an hour in, so this is great. So here are the pillars of a signature program. I want you to think of it in phases or pillars or steps. I go between pillars and steps myself, but I want you to think about that and I'm going to show you some examples of how we build it. So I want you to think, what are the steps or the pillars or the phases that I want to build in? Each phase or pillar should answer a critical client question, or solve a pain point, or action a change. So the pillars should do something. Each pillar has a job, and each pillar is, I always talk about layering. Each pillar should naturally lead to the next phase or the next part. Okay, and I should be climbing up that ladder. I've started at A, at the bottom of my ladder. I want to go up to B. There's 10 steps between me, A and B. I want to layer. Each step is going to bring me closer and closer to the top, up to that transformation. Okay, keep it simple, practical, and results focused. Okay, and it truly, clients don't just need information, they need support to, I suppose, to process the information we give them. They need time to implement the information. They need time to process the discoveries that they've made about themselves. They need time to process whether or not it's working and fitting and what they had been looking for. They need time to process any tweaks and changes they might want to bring to something. So that needs to be kind of built in as well. Okay. And again, it's really good to get another set of eyes on what you're creating, because we can get so close to something that it might fall slightly flat or slightly sideways. Okay. But when we have a program with these steps in it that are bringing our clients through a transformation, us as coaches can be the most powerful companion to go alongside it. Truly, truly can. So let's have a look at some examples of what this could look like. So let's look at the signature program structure. Okay. So I've just called this one the Thrive Hormone Reset Program. Okay. Now, that might be in real life a bit wordy, so I don't think I would call it that. But if I did, let's just pretend. So what would, and it's going to have 4 pillars. Now, it could have 12 pillars, but I'm just saying for argument's sake today, this particular program is going to have 4 sections to it. The first section, I'm going to explore their health. Now, let's pretend for a minute that I don't work in physiology as well, which I do. Let's pretend that it's just all coaching, okay? And some of my students, even though we teach them physiology, they will never go near it. They just want to be coaching, because coaching is so powerful. So let's think that we're exploring their health and we're trying to figure out, okay, this is your baseline. Anytime we're at a baseline, this is a writer downer, always do a measurement. Okay, so I'm a nutritionist. We measure something called MyMop. It's not a scientific measurement, really. I get someone to measure their own take on their health status. Okay, so MyMop is what it's called. And it's from 1 to 6 in MyMop, but I like to measure 1 to 10, because we often have a lot of steps we need to go through. So measure at the beginning of anything. Always get some form of a baseline. How are you feeling about your health on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being I feel awful about it, 1 I feel good. So I'm exploring then maybe I'm known for this wonderful program that lets you talk about your health worries. It's you're with me for an hour. It's not 5 minutes, and I can't ask these questions because I don't feel comfortable that you might find in maybe if you were going to your GP, and that's a fast-paced medical world where we don't often have a lot of time to sit and chat, and because there are too many of us, and not enough GPs maybe, but maybe I'm building this wonderful program, whereas the first hour you get to tell me all of your worries, and we get them put out on the plate, on the table in front of us. That's phase 1. Okay. Within that, I will have come up with a mini plan to get you going towards better health. Okay. So maybe I have a Foundations to Better Health workbook, or maybe I have a foundation. And I'm thinking of our mental health lady or man, maybe, sorry, I don't know the name, who put up mental well-being. So maybe you're exploring with them where they
Rachel.
are. Rachel, thank you. So Rachel, maybe you're exploring, where they are with regards to their mental health right now. I don't know enough about mental health to talk about it without maybe bringing you outside your scope of practice. So apologies if I do. So maybe that week then you send them away maybe with some form of a journal or a coaching tool that will help them map their mental health ups and downs during the week. Maybe that's pillar 1, okay? And you call that your mental health baseline. Let's just call it that. The next, then they come back to you, then maybe this is over 4 weeks, maybe it's over 8 weeks. Let's just go for 4 for this conversation. And they're coming in now next week, or they're going into pillar 2 or phase 2, step 2, whatever you call it. And now we're looking at maybe some sort of interpretation of how their week went. Okay. If it's this hormone health there, maybe in my program we look at hormone testing in week 2, whatever the case may be. That would be bespoke to me because maybe the next coach or health advisor isn't doing this. So this is part of my signature. Okay. And then as we progress, we end up building this wellness roadmap, this wellness program for them. Now, I already have a very strong wellness program built into this already. I'm tweaking it to personalize it, but I'm rinsing and repeating. I'm never starting from scratch. I'm never reinventing the wheel because I need to step into my CEO shoes and I can't be behind my computer the whole time. I need to outreach to bring business in, and I can't do that if I'm stuck concentrating and giving hours and hours over to preparing something for one individual client. I've built something that will be for everybody, but I'll tweak it as we go through the phases probably. And then maybe at the end of it, I end up doing some coaching sessions on how to continue supporting and how they build in accountability and things are working great. And then I move towards discharging them and supporting them to move forward. Okay. So that's the structure of my program. Okay. But let's have a look at the transformation that's built into it. So it's 4 pillars. We're doing it over however many weeks. And the pathway to transformation is from hormone chaos to calm in this one. Maybe for Rachel, the pathway to transformation was to maybe mental fatigue, we'll say, to mental strength or something, or mental resilience, something like that. So that's the transformation. But let's see then what my promise would be. And again, and I don't know who mentioned it, I wouldn't be using the word promise to my clients, but this is to myself so that I know what am I promising within, or what am I not guaranteeing, so we can't ever guarantee anything. What is it that I want to bring to the table? So with the Thrive Hormone Reset Program, which is too much of a mouthful, I would say to myself, I help women move from hormonal disarray and emotional chaos to feeling regulated and balanced in 12 weeks through my signature Thrive Hormone Reset Program. And my reset program is the 4 pillars. And I, as the person who knows all about my own modality and topic, it'll take me quite a while to sit and actually thrash out and flesh out and create these 4 pillars. But once they're created, they're rinsed and repeated with everybody. When I talk about this program, I talk about that I can bring it from hormone chaos to calm. When I talk deeper about it, I help women move from. Okay, so I can talk. I'm becoming really eloquent in my ability to talk about it. It's very fluent, and I know this program inside out, and I rinse and repeat it. A really good structured signature program can be something you can do to groups as well. you can change it. You can make it look, I can do it to groups. I can do it to this type of person, this type of person. So I'm with one product, I have a number of different revenue streams coming in from it, but it's anchoring my business. And this is strong within my business. I'm now not sitting, and if somebody has come in with hormones, I'm like, where do I start with this person? Because they're coming into a program, okay? And when they're coming into a program, then, you know, there's only one place to start, at the beginning of my program. So let's look at it for life coaching. So Life Visions coaching program is the title, we'll say. Maybe pillar one, we explore what's happening in life at the moment. Maybe we do a reality regroup. What's the reality of my life right now? Maybe pillar two, we go into a brainstorming of nothing can fail. If you, whatever you decide to do in your life, because you're in here to try and change it, whatever you decide to do, if nothing can fail, what is it that you want to do? Let's do a brainstorm. Let's reach for the stars. You know, maybe that's week two, so that you're getting all the ideas. So we have our baseline, we have our reality kind of check, we'll say. Then we have our dreaming big in our life goals. And then we put together from there a personalized change, maybe a focus roadmap. And then there's accountability and support and all that built in. You as a coach and the expert within your life coaching field, you will design those 4 pillars, you'll bulk them out, you'll put in coaching tools, you'll have step A to B to C, what does each step look like? And that's your signature program. So whenever somebody picks up the phone and says, I need life coaching, you're like, come on in, I have this wonderful program. So it's 4 pillars over however many weeks. Now it could be 10 pillars, whatever it is. And the transformation, what is the transformation that we're hoping for? That they would go from life goals uncertainty to focused change. And then when you talk about it, I had clients move from life goals uncertainty to focused change in 12 weeks through my signature Life Visions coaching program, using a step-by-step process, on and on. So we're designing it. We're very clear on our transformation, and we can talk about it. So it's in 3 different stages. Now, would you like to see inside one? And I would say, now, if we were able to vote, we'd probably all say yes, please. So I'm not even going to look for a vote. We're going to go straight in. Now, let me bring it up. Here we go. So this is the empowered, let me just pull this bit down a small bit now. So this is the empowered transformation system, okay? It's a 12-week coaching system for the weight loss practitioner, okay? So I know exactly what it is and who it's for, okay? Now, the big program promise, we'll say, that I tell myself isn't written in here, because this is what I tell myself and this is what I can speak about, but I don't have it written in here as such, okay? So this is just housekeeping at the front. Okay, so I sort of do. See, I haven't looked at this now in a while. This is the Empowered Transformation Program, a practitioner-led, comprehensive 12-week coaching system that focuses on emotional resilience, mindset transformation, and sustainable habit building. So if you're coming in here, you know that you're a weight loss coach, and you know that this is a program that will bring your client or your group through 12 weeks of a coaching system that focuses on emotional resilience, mindset transformation, habit building. We know already that up here, no, I'll have to, yeah, sorry, I'll only get myself confused. Okay, so this is what it looks like inside it. It's 12 weeks, so each module, I call it modules because I'm so used to teaching. You could call it steps. Okay, so step 1 might be the foundations to emotional awareness. We're always going to start at the bringing awareness, I suppose, really. I would always build in some sort of a measurement tool here, okay? So we're looking at our emotional awareness is pillar 1, step 1. The next one, then we go up a step. We're starting to look at building emotional resilience, okay? Then we're looking at resetting the mindset. Then we're looking at empowering personal accountability, and emotional empowerment through food freedom is the next one. I'm just not going to read through them all, but after week 8, what you start seeing is that I'm starting to discharge them. I'm starting to hand them over and back to themselves, so that by the end of the 12 weeks, they're not just dropped. So it's built into my signature program, it's built into the system that they're going to be discharged. Okay, so module 8, sustaining mindset and resilience, building self-trust. We're starting to cut those ribbons. resilience in real life, sustaining habits with purpose, and the future self-support. Okay. So it's just exceptionally simple. Okay. It's exceptionally simple to build one. Let me just come down. Okay. So this is for practitioners. So whoever's coming in is welcomed. Okay. How this program works. Okay. On and on and on. That's just housekeeping. Sorry, no, I pulled it all together so we can have a good. So this is module 1, step 1, pillar 1. And it's really simple that I will be guiding the client to build emotional awareness. Okay. I tell them the key topics that we're looking at, what to expect. Okay. And then we go straight into our coaching tools. Okay. We go straight into the things that I want to do with them. There's an awareness log that I've coached them through. We've talked through. They know they know why we're looking at it. They're going to reflect on it. More reflections. When they come back next week, we're going to look at building on this. Okay, it's very simple. It's very straightforward, but it's exceptionally structured. And I don't have to start from scratch with anybody coming into me because I have a signature program. This we'll say, and that signature program is built that it will actually serve everybody coming in. Yes, I might have to tweak it. Okay, I might have to change a few little bits up, but I will never have to invent the wheel. Okay, from the very, very beginning again. So let's go back to this lady who was at the front of our brochure. So my description of this program would be, I help women move from emotional eating and self-doubt to feeling confident, resilient, and controlled in their habits in 12 weeks through my signature empowered transformation coaching program. Okay. And when I say that I plug something in, when I plug it into my business, all that means is that I have it in my business as an offer. Okay. Now I can talk about this wherever I go. I can deliver this to groups. I can deliver it one-on-one. I can support I can train other coaches in it. Maybe my signature program is one that I'm like, this is so good, I want to train others. Look, I'm after developing this amazing next level revenue stream into my business. Your signature program can do so many things. Okay. So we're at the stage that I need to start wrapping up and recapping. So let's recap on the key elements. Define the core transformation, clarify the audience, who do you want to work with? Okay. Establish program duration. Okay. Now I'm more than happy to give these PowerPoint, this presentation to Catalina, and who can send it on because there is a lot here that would be lovely to work with. So we establish the program duration, we create a clear program structure, we ensure each module or phase or pillar tracks a logical step onto the next step, we'll say. Okay. We want to design tangible activities and tools because we often need them. We're coaches as well. Some coaches, of course, will never use tools. Some will use tools. I do like tools, but I don't always use them actually. And you know what? I wish I used them more actually, to be honest with you, because for my own interest, we'll say. So don't forget to build yourself into this as well. Develop client-facing materials, integrate coaching or mentoring support, highlight emotional and behavior components, plan progress tracking, align the program with your experience and your expertise. I'm going to talk about that very briefly at the end. Craft a program promise, but this is to yourself. Okay. And as somebody very rightly said at the beginning, we don't ever make promises ever at all. There are a couple of things for myself. I've never promised or guarantee anything, and I would never ever use words like heal and diagnose. These are some of the no-goes. Develop a marketing narrative. It's going to be so easy to explain your program once you have it built. And my top tips is to know who you are. Build yourself into the program, because there's nothing worse than feeling that you're not yourself. There's nothing worse than having, this, I suppose, professional facade that feels uncomfortable to wear. Build you into it. Okay. Have a signature program. No matter what your business is, have a signature program, because you can always draw on it. Okay. Ensure it's aligned to you. If there are some parts that you're like, oh, I'm not sure what I suppose it should be in here, but I don't like it, forget it. If it's aligned to you, it'll fit so comfortably. If it's not, and if you're saying, oh, there are elements I don't like, you have to change them. You have to change them, because you'll never be able to really work with them, or if you do, the enthusiasm, the lack of it, or the lack of commitment maybe to the person that you're not that aligned to, it will show. And it's an awful thing to have to try and push that rock up a hill for ourselves. Whereas if we're completely aligned to something, then we're never pushing rocks up hills. It's easy. And I suppose the big thing I would say is imagine the dream, because you can do anything with a signature program. Very, very briefly, and then we move on to questions. We're just on time. If anybody wants to work with me, there's always the invitation. Okay, I'm going to leave this here. And I do have a Calendly link, or Calendly, whatever it's pronounced, that I am going to pop into chat. If anybody wants literally a 5-minute chat with me. Where are we gone now? Where's chat? If anybody wants a 15-minute chat to see if you wanted help, I reckon you probably have enough to start off. But if you wanted help, there is help available, okay? But I do think you have enough in this, and I will make sure that Catalina gets the notes. And that's it. I could probably pop the notes into chat, actually.
Wonderful.
I'll pop them into chat. Let me see if I can find my notes.
And
We pop
thank
them
you
into
so
chat.
much. Yeah,
You're
I saw it.
welcome.
It's there. And, thank you for sharing your personal experience as well, and giving us, really a step-by-step framework to build this program. And I was wondering, because you help hundreds of people create their signature programs, and till the other participants come with a question, I have one as well. What shifts when a practitioner finally commits to owning their offer?
Everything. I'm going to stop sharing. Everything shifts when you commit to owning your offer. You actually become the expert of it. And when you become the expert in anything, you stand above the person next to you. So you and I might be both coaching on women's health, we'll say, but I have this solid program within my business that I know inside out, and I know it resonates with my clients. So I have an added, maybe unconscious layer of confidence. And that layer of confidence, that can shift you from maybe not attracting clients to absolutely attracting clients. And so everything can change once you have something like a signature program inside. When you think about it, when you think about us as coaches, most of us have probably been trained on some coaching model. Okay, we'll just take T-Grow, for example. And I always say T-Grow is one of the models we teach. And I always say to my students that if all else fails, if you can't remember one thing that you're doing in clinic or your sessions, if you can't remember anything, go back to T-Grow and start at the start and work your way to the end of T-Grow. And that's a structure. And when we can build structure into our businesses, if everything else is falling apart, we say, I have a structure that I can go to straight away, and this will keep everything on the straight and narrow. This will keep everything structured. It could be something that you could end up automating in the back of your business. So if you have a website, I don't know if you've ever heard of Evergreen. So Evergreen is when you have something for sale that's always open, that I can click onto your website and I can buy it. Okay, it's Evergreen. A signature program you could build in as an evergreen part into the back of your business, so that when you're asleep or listening to a masterclass or whatever you're doing, somebody might be buying it, and you might come off here and say, oh God, I have an extra few €100 or pounds or dollars in my bank account. Where did that come from? That came from my signature or that came from some form of a signature program. Maybe not your big one, because you might want to be a little bit mindful of that, or not. Everything can change. And I suppose the key thing, and one of the things that my students have, is often this mindset about money. Let's just call it as it is. This money mindset problem of, oh God, I just want to help. I think a lot of times we train because we want to help. We can't help anybody if we have to close the doors on our businesses, and we can't help ourselves if we have to close the doors on our businesses. So let's think about these things strategically and as a business person, and let's push some solid structures into our business. If you have 2 or 3 of these, if you feel I don't quite get all of people, I don't quite get everybody who's in my audience into this, well then what would you get the others into? Can you build something for them? And and you never again have to rebuild it. Once it's there, it's there. And you can pull bits out. Maybe you decide, well, actually, module 3 or pillar 3, I think that would be really nice as a small, you know, 3 hour coaching block that I can do for a group. There's loads you can do with it.
Wonderful. And we have Lorraine asking how many signature programs can you have? She works
Yeah.
with different clients and it's difficult to know where she can start.
Yeah, yeah, it
Where
is.
to start.
Lorraine, could you remind me what your who you work with, Lorraine, just as I can give you a much clearer answer.
Yeah, stop smoking, but also mental health, weight management.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
have
health and
3
well-being, really.
health and well-being. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So I would have 3 there for you. I have, how many have I at the moment? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. At the moment I have about 5, but I'm changing stuff because I need to hone it even more because I don't have enough time. You have 3 cohorts. So you have your smoking, your mental health, and what was the third, Lorraine? Sorry, now you did
It's
say
health and well-being, so
weight
it's
and
yeah,
weight
managing.
management. That's
Yeah.
it. So I would have 3 separate ones. Absolutely. If it came to it that you had somebody who was like, well, actually, I'm smoking, my mental health isn't great, and I also need to lose weight, which of your programs do I go on? That's when I would say I can pull bits from all of them and I can actually make a bespoke one. Now, very likely that the fee would probably increase because you're making it bespoke to them. You may decide, no, well, actually, no, it's very, very quickly I can pull stuff out. So you can, if you had 3, if you had 1 for each of those, you would have your audiences sorted, and if you had an audience who fell between some of them, you could pull some bits from. So you could have maybe pillar 1 might be your mental health and physical well-being reset, or your mental health, physical well-being measurement, we'll say, and then so then I suppose depending on what's the most important to them, you know what part of the program to start. And you might say, I have to get a handle on the smoking first. You say, right, that's where we start, you know. But you see, you don't have to think, what will I do? Because you're like, sure, I have all of what I need there. Let me just pull it forward. You would never look back. Your shelves are stocked. Nobody's coming into your shop and saying, oh, I can't even buy bread. They're coming in saying, oh, I can buy bread and I can buy milk, and your shop is stocked.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're very
It's really
welcome.
helpful.
And can you define your definition of signature? Do you mean unique from Louise?
Yes, Louise, absolutely. So your signature, so it's called a signature program, but you can call it whatever you like. And I always say it's a program that's bespoke to you. You could call it your, Louise, could you tell me what you do so I can word it really that will help resonate with yourself?
Hi, I'm actually it's not even formed yet, but I've got everything in here, and that's why I just would like some structure on how to get all this out of my head.
I get it, yeah.
So mine is combining coaching with somatic work, so dealing with the cognitive and also getting the body and bringing that together.
I could talk to you all day. Yeah.
Fabulous. Very powerful.
So your signature program could be so it's the somatic part, of course, I honed in on. What was the second part, Louise, or the first part?
Coaching, just
okay. So you want to coach somebody through a somatic experience of some sort. There's bound to be a transition in there somewhere. You're going to work with them as a coach to work through it. Or maybe you're going to work them as a coach that every week you talk about what comes up from whatever body work has been done, whatever way think about what would my ideal go to if nothing can fail, what would I create? So if you were guaranteed that whatever you created was going to work, what would you want it to look like? And if you can answer that now, I could nearly even tell you what your signature program could look like.
I in my head, it's combining the somatic work with the coaching, but also business. I was in IT sales for 25, 30 years.
Okay.
So it's
and what's the transformation? If I was to come to you, what would I get at the end? What's the somatic work going to do for me?
It's accessing that innate capacity for clarity of thinking and being, what's the word, in business where you're just in flow, you're just,
I get it. Yeah. So this is for the business person this particular, so you could do your so this is so your signature program could be, I work with business people who are stuck with their business visions, we'll say, and I work with them in, you'd have to explain what somatic is then, but I work, so we work on with the physical body to release the energy within the body, to release the energy and ideas within the brain. Now, that's probably not what it is, but if it is, that would be, and I'd be on that program. That would be an absolutely gorgeous program.
I get excited just having the chance to talk about it. And there's a specific, I sold, sorry to take up so much time. I sold HR software, and it was strategic software for big organizations. And there was always that gap. You know, you can put executives on the most expensive training courses.
Yeah.
And those top performers where they wanted to, you know, get that cream of the top, there was something still blocking them, and that personal self-doubt, that self, you know, that's
it's held, isn't it?
We stuff it down because we don't want people to see that.
So I help executives who are stuck at moving forward with their vision by helping them release the trapped energy in their body that's blocking the vision, or that type of thing. So you would, if it was you coming to me, I'd say, okay, you need to, where do you need to start? It's probably with them having some sort of a reality balance. Here's what's happening. I would do body scans that would be built into it. I'd be getting them to feel where is the block? What would happen if you could release that block? Let's imagine. So you could build the most beautiful program. And when I say about
thank you,
what,
and
so I can
thank you for,
of course. So signature is bespoke to you, Louise. You can call it a bespoke program, or the Louise program. So
wonderful. So thank you so much, Louise. That's great. And because we are now at the end of our meeting, we have one more question for Liadh, if you want to take it. And while you are thinking about the answer, it's from Lucica. Please, the participants, because we are also coaches, take a minute or so to write down your main learning and to fill in your CPD. And we give a minute to Liadh to think about that question, and then we will be able to wrap up this wonderful, very interesting conversation.
Brilliant. So from Lucia,
thank you so much. So please take this minute, 60 seconds to fill in your CPD.
So, and I will answer this here. I can see how this would work in groups, but do you sell the programs to individuals too? You absolutely can. To navigate at their own pace, you could. You would design it differently. Okay, you would need to have measurement tools in there, tools to help them progress. And how would that work in a way that does not transform you into a customer care center? You know what? It would, the way you would stay away from transforming into anything else is for you to be center stage in whatever it is you're delivering. So for you to have, you obviously don't like the thought of anybody feeling they're in customer care. So you would, Lucia, you would build it that they would never feel like that. So that would come down to you and your skills. And how will intuition also work in a program for executives? Yeah. I loved this, and I think we could stay and have questions and answers all day long. If anybody wants, I have popped it into chat, the 15-minute call. If anybody wants that just for a quick brainstorm, it's only this Friday and next Monday because I'm going away, but please book in and let's meet for 15 minutes if you want. If there's questions you have which you're bound to that haven't been answered, we can answer them. So now,
well, we can, thank you. So we can continue this conversation till tomorrow. These are so interesting topics, and thank you so much, Liadh, for taking the time and for your generosity. And please check Women's Health Network. Take the opportunity to have a deeper conversation with Liadh. It's all there. Rachel, thanks you so much for your time and knowledge. Great to learn about the unfamiliar signature programs and then you gave them so much structure and clarity. Thank you so much. I hope that you also wrote in your CPD and you take the main learnings, because it's very much we consume information, but let's start producing as well. It was very useful also for me, and I'm honored to be your host for today. Last reminder, anything else that anybody would like to share before we close this up? Any final thing? All right, then I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us today. Thank you, Liadh,
Thank you.
for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.